Are you also using AKM like Victor? Victor is not able to use AKM in any situation. When he uses it in close range, he misses most of the bullets. When he uses it in mid-range, he also misses the target. And in long range, Victor is not able to control AKM's heavy recoil. Victor had no idea how to use the AKM effectively in different ranges. Victor wasn't a bad player. He was great at movement and strategy, but his struggles with the AKM left him frustrated. Determined to fix his gameplay, he turned to videos, articles, and even advice from friends. But the advice he got was either too basic or too confusing to apply in real matches. As usual, Victor came to GROZA for help. After analyzing Victor's problem, I developed a plan to help him master the AKM across all ranges, and explained everything in detail from attachments, sprays, strategies, tips, and tricks. And now Victor is no more noob. He becomes a master of AKM. Now he can deal with hip-fire fights, mid-range fights, and even long-range fights. So in this video, I'll walk you through everything you need to know to master the AKM, just like I did for Victor. Let's dive in. First of all, let's talk about the AKM's raw power. This beast deals 47 damage to the chest, making it one of the highest damaging assault rifles in the game. In fact, it's tied with the GROZA for damage. But here's the surprise. In certain areas like the arms and legs, the AKM does 50% more damage than any other assault rifle. Here is the side-by-side comparison of AKM, GROZA, and Barrel M7. So, if you're up against someone in level 3 armor, for example, a shot to the chest does 21 damage, but a shot to the legs or arms jumps to 32. That's a huge advantage, and if you hit these spots even just a few times, you can easily knock down your opponent. And it's the same with level 2 armor. Hitting the arms or legs still deals more damage than hitting the chest. So if you're using the AKM, aim for those limbs when possible for that extra damage boost. Here are some of my clips. There is a big disadvantage with AKM hip fire. Its stretched crosshair will make you miss most of the bullets. Here is a side-by-side comparison of UMP and AKM's hip fire. So, should you use the AKM for hip firing? The simple answer is yes, but there's a catch. To make the most out of it, you need to get as close as possible to your enemy. The closer you are, the less likely you are to miss shots, and the more effective your hip fire will be. So, always try to close the distance to avoid missing shots. Getting close not only increases your accuracy, but also significantly boosts your chances of winning the fight. Let's talk about the attachment. Many of you might think attachments aren't important since the weapon only allows for a muzzle. Using a compensator is good, but I recommend using a muzzle brake instead, as it provides even better recoil control. The muzzle brake not only helps manage vertical and horizontal recoil more effectively than the compensator, but it also improves crosshair stability, making it easier to maintain aim during hip-fire fights. Never use a suppressor because it does nothing more than reduce your weapon's sound. By the way, if you are struggling with attachment selection, I will recommend you to watch this video on my channel. Here are the recommended attachments based on different situations: close range, mid-range, long range. Now let's talk about AKM's rate of fire. Compared to other 5.56 rifles, such as the M416, AKM has a slow firing speed, shooting only about 10 bullets per second. This is the slowest firing assault rifle in PUBG Mobile, but it's designed to balance out the insane damage output. The slow rate of fire can be a disadvantage, but if used strategically, it can actually work in your favor. Let's get into how you can control that high recoil. All right, let's talk about mid-range. The AKM is known for its high recoil, especially when spraying. But because its rate of fire is slower than most other rifles, you actually have more time to adjust it. Let me share 2 tricks that can help you manage this recoil and make the AKM a lot easier to handle. The first method is burst firing. Rather than spraying all your bullets at once, try firing 5 rounds at a time. The first 5 bullets have less recoil, so this gives you time to control the direction of the spray. After each burst, wait a second, then go again. This will give you more control over your shots compared to a full spray. The second method is all about aiming. Instead of going for the head, try aiming at the chest. This is where you can really take advantage of the AKM's recoil. Because the gun kicks upwards after the first bullet, aiming at the chest means that the recoil will naturally push your next few shots to the head. Combine both techniques for some seriously stable sprays. It is not as easy as it sounds. You need a lot of practice with this weapon. You have to be familiar with this weapon to effectively use in different situations. For those of you trying to use the AKM at long range, it's definitely a challenge. You'll be pushing the limits of the weapon, so spraying continuously or even burst firing is not ideal. Instead, use single shot and aim for the head. Just like DMRs, you just need to hit 2 shots on the head to knock down the opponent. Although it is not as good as DMRs like Mini 14, but if you have to take the fight in this situation, use it single shot instead of spraying or burst fire. Pairing the AKM with a secondary weapon like the M4 is always a good idea. I recommend any 5.56 rifle like the M416, AUG, SCAR L, or even the DP28. This way, you've got versatility for any situation. So, when should you use the AKM? At shorter distances, within 50 meters of the fight, the AKM is your trusty best friend. Its raw damage alone is enough to shred your enemies. But when hip firing, be careful. It can be unreliable. You may struggle to connect shots because of its stretched crosshair. The key is to get as close as possible. For mid-range combat, you'll want to avoid continuous sprays. Instead, use the burst fire method and aim for the chest to improve accuracy. For long-range fights, AKM's performance starts to drop off. Better use its single shot and aim for the head. After using all this knowledge are some clips from Victor's perspective. If you want to master the AKM like I helped Victor, remember these tips and practice. Even after using all the knowledge, if you are not able to control AKM's heavy recoil, you may be missing one last important thing, which is sensitivity settings. Already the video is too long and I don't want to make it even longer. I will recommend you my sensitivity video. You can watch this video if you are struggling with any weapon's sensitivity or any scope. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below or DM me on Instagram where I will reply to your questions and give more detailed advice. And if you're new here, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips and tricks like these. Thanks for watching.